She live in Fort Lauderdale and I'm closer to South Beach. I told her to come over, she said okay, don't fall asleep. She said she can be my housewife and keep my house clean. I said shut the fuck up, put this dick back in your mouth please. I don't see nothing wrong with some out in lip service. Tension in this bitch, I'm tighter than a pinch nerve, bitch. I didn't answer my phone, I said I couldn't get service. My new Nina just told
This is another edition of Everybody Hates Sleep Show, and I am your host, Mark Maxwell. I appreciate everybody for coming. I knew this episode was going to be like this, man. I am sitting with a legend. You guys may not know this, but I am extremely excited. It's probably the biggest interview in my podcast career.
So far.
But I'm treating it as such because I'm a humble guy and I come from humble beginnings and I know the magnitude of certain shit. So I'm giving it its Steve Harvey introduction that it deserves.
You cuss on your show?
Yeah, this is the HBO type of thing.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, you can be yourself.
No.
So, without further ado, my man, Shad Phillips.
Thank you.
My man. Came all the way from Florida.
Yes.
To do his thing, man. How you been, sir?
I'm great, man. It always feels good to be back home. It's refreshing. Mm-hmm. Especially looking at the scenery and just being in the atmosphere, man. You can just feel, obviously you can feel the cold.
Yeah.
But the love it overwrites the cold.
It's tremendous. That's one thing that a lot of people don't really talk about Detroit is that if you're from here and you've went off and you've done something with your life and you come back, the love that you get from the people that watched you grow or watch you come from, as some people would say, nothing.
Yeah.
It is crazy, man, and they don't really talk about that. But Detroit shows a lot of love.
I know. And
it's just trying to get that love is kind of hard because Detroit, we don't too much love them, motherfuckers. You got to do something for us to love you. But if you go somewhere and come back, they're gonna show that love to you.
That's
man.
true. That's true.
So how's your father doing?
Man, he doing great. Like, I think he's getting younger each year, man. Like, I
feel that.
He's full of life, man. He just has so much energy, man. And now that we're getting older, you start to see that type of things, and like, damn, when I get to that age, can I be that energetic?
Man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, I be tired
a
lot.
I'm
like, so I think you just find another way to just find another avenue on why to live and how to live, and my dad is just like, he epitomizes that.
And for those that don't know, Shad is from the east side of Detroit.
Yeah,
I'm right about that.
Absolutely, East Side State Fair, the pride and joy.
He was supposed to go to Pershing. I'm extremely happy that didn't happen because they had enough over there as it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to interject any more fucking greatness at that staple of greatness. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's kind of the cream of the crop where he comes from, and a lot of that is embedded in his game. Because he has a very fearless attitude when it comes to basketball. Like, I remember seeing you. I pay attention to everything, especially as a young guy coming up. But I remember distinctively the Magic Round Ball Classic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were a substitute or somebody got hurt, but they had made mention that you wasn't supposed to play
at all.
And the outfit that you had on let me know that you wasn't supposed to play. I think you had on a big man's uniform.
And my shoes was too big. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
I wear a 10.5,
right.
So they gave me an 11.5 shoe, so I had to double my socks. My shoes was too big.
Wow.
Not just my jersey and shorts, but my shoes.
And that's astonishing that he said that because he broke the record for assists.
Yeah.
In because the Magic Round Ball Classic didn't stay around long, but for the time that it was around, he broke the record for assists and had on two big shoes. I did not know that your shoes. I didn't know that.
I had on 11.5.
Wow.
Yeah, they were too big. So I was in the locker room like, hey, I need another pair of socks. Because when I put the first pair on,
they still was flopping.
They was slipping. I felt like a clown. Like it felt like clown shoes. I put a second pair, and they still didn't feel right. But, we Detroit, man. So we Detroit people, what I love about us is Detroit people, we adapt to any situation you put us in.
Exactly.
And that was a situation where, I had to adapt to my surroundings and just kind of block out the distractions and do what I do best.
But it was some fucking studs out there. It was some fucking studs. And all you seen throughout the game was a little piece of fabric flying around, dropping off dimes. And I mean, it was a very beautiful thing. And then to fast forward to see the impact that you had at a very young age at the University of Detroit. Because a lot of people don't know this about me. I never had an aspiration to play in the NBA or anything like that. And some people say that's like, lowering your expectations. But my dream was to play college basketball.
You did that.
And the Fab Five blocked me out. They blacked me out. Jalen and them. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play on a college stage and have that college camaraderie and all them people in the stands and people. That's what I wanted to do. So when I was able to do that, I felt like,
it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check that mark. You can check that goal off.
For sure.
And but one thing that I did notice, that anytime we stepped on the court, it was fucking business. And I had to learn that the hard way because we were playing, you know how they used to come up here and play with us or whatever.
The pros in the summertime.
Yeah, the pros would come. And I was on Jimmy Twyman team this one day. And you and Jimmy had kind of got into it because he thought that it was just going to be we going to run up and down and rub shoulders and, you get you a layup, No. You about to get this work. So it got to a point where I think you may have hit like 3 or 4 of them in a row. And then Jimmy tried to turn it on.
Yeah, we got to pushing and shoving.
And it turned into, and I say all that to say, it made me realize that, like, I love these guys, but I love this game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the love I have for the game is going to bring out the competitiveness that I have inside of me too.
Absolutely.
So y'all just gonna have to be mad at me.
No. That was the mindset. That was the mindset, and you witnessed that, and over time, you definitely adapted to that as far as when you came in and you had a weight loss. It was a terrific weight loss. It was just a dedication that you put to your craft.
And I appreciate you saying that, man.
I mean,
I do appreciate
the older I get now, like, I understand the weight loss stuff. How you got to eat right and stuff like that. And for you to have to make that commitment at 18 years old, it's a testament to how tough you were mentally in that.
Because I was told, he set me down and said, hell, Maxwell, I'm going to explain something to you. You are 310 pounds right now. You come back in here 300 pounds, I'm not signing that goddamn letter of intent.
Yes,
because they don't tell you this. When you sign your letter of intent, this is not a 4-year contract. This is a year-to-year thing.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that. But they made sure that they told us that in them fucking locker rooms after them fucking losses and all that shit. Because there was a time when we were on like a kind of a bad losing streak. Because it was something that it was uncommon at the time.
I think we lost like 2 or 3 in a row. That may have been more of a team where I wasn't on. I didn't lose a lot. I think my first year I went 15-12.
It was the time where we were losing home. We were losing away games, but we weren't losing.
Yeah, because I only lost 1 home game in 4 years. Yeah. Okay. So we made a half.
Yeah, and I think I may have lost 2 in 3 years. Wow, I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah, because you were with me. You were with me 2 years? Were you with me 2 years?
I think it was 2 years.
Yeah, you didn't lose a lot with me.
No.
I
lost my first home game.
I never lost a home game with you.
That was, it was against Ohio. Ohio basketball. I remember like it was yesterday because this motherfucker did a backflip in the middle of the, man, let me be quiet.
Yeah, so that wasn't my team.
No, it wasn't.
That wasn't me.
But we were losing away games, but we were winning all the home games. But in those away losses, Coach Alexander made it perfectly clear. These contracts they're year-to-year binding, which made me go up and look up what the hell the year-to-year binding means. And like that shit really put things in perspective. That everything's not guaranteed, man.
Every day counts.
Yeah,
every day counts.
And I wanted to go back to your father. He had this. Is Reach still open?
Yeah, it is.
Reach is still open.
It is. It's actually on. It's changed locations.
Oh, okay.
It's changed locations.
It's not on at the church on the corner.
It's boarded up.
For real?
It's boarded up now, and
man, that has to be hurtful to ride by there and see.
Yeah,
that.
we're trying to figure out if we want to try to make an investment in it, and I don't know. That's a page that we got to get to. It's going to be a collective effort if we want to do that. So. But yeah, it's still open.
Okay.
It's still in the east side of Detroit in the 7 Mile area, so it's still running.
So that because I see an AAU team called the Reach Players or the Reach All Stars or
Reach Legends.
Reach Legends. That's y'all. Yeah, okay. Because they have some pretty decent talent over there.
So for those that are listening, Reach stands for, it's an acronym. So it stands for Religion, Education, Athletics, Character, and Hope. So that's
Religion, education,
athletics, character, and hope.
Did not know that.
So that's what Reach means. So it's not like you're reaching for a cookie at the top of the refrigerator or something.
It's just an acronym. Say that again.
Religion, education, athletics, character, and hope. So those are the 5 points that my dad wanted to structure around the community.
Okay.
You keep those in front of you, and then things will play out. So that's what Reach stands for. So if you see Reach, that's what it means. So it doesn't mean like reach this or reach for that. Right. It's an acronym.
I want to tell you a story. I don't know if your pops ever told you this, but when I was a senior in high school, we used to always go up to Reach because he had the Tuesday and Friday nights runs. And we could never make it to the Tuesday runs, but we always made it to the Friday runs. And this Friday, all of the big talent in the city is there. And this is at the time when DePores, for those that may not know, DePores had DePores need a 30 for 30, actually.
That's a phenomenal program.
That is a program of champions in every aspect of sports. Basketball, football, softball, baseball, track. Yeah. But I don't want to veer off, but they were there. Lathrop guys was there, Southfield, Central, Murray, King, so it's a bevy of talent there. So he came in there and said, if you got your 5 from your school, stick with your 5. If you need to put a 5 together, come over here and we'll put y'all together.
Yep.
So us Murray guys, we always, we had our 5. Central had their 5. Persian had their 5. And then he made the super squad that consisted of Ricardo Thomas, Aloysius Alagagne, Solomon Edwards. I want to say De Niro was there.
Okay.
And I forget the fifth guy. So to make a long story short, Murray and Central were beating everybody.
Okay.
And he kept a tally. So he said, you know what we gonna do? We about to play the city championship right here, right now. Murray Wright versus Central. Come on out here. And we have been licking our chops all summer to play these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Man, when I tell you that the game got so intense that Verge had to come to the middle of the floor and say, look, we here to play basketball. If y'all want to fight, go outside. But that ain't basketball.
That sounds like him.
But I love that about him because it was going to go left. And he smelt it.
Yeah.
He like, y'all too talented. I ain't bring y'all in here for that.
That's him.
Now, if we need to have a timeout and y'all go to y'all corners, we going to do that. But if y'all get to fighting in here, ain't nobody coming. I'm shutting it down.
Yep.
And that pretty much,
he was all about basketball.
Yeah, he was about basketball. And it ended up being like, I think it was like some 10-7 type shit. We ended up beating them. And, He's giving out nicknames. That was his thing.
That's what he do.
You know, the color of money is great.
The aircraft carrier.
The aircraft. Big rig.
Yeah,
the big rigs coming through.
Yeah, he had names for our whole team, man. Yeah.
He just called me Big Mac. He said, I ain't got to call you nothing because you take everything to the max, baby. You max. You ain't got to change your name. You already got one. I love Verge, man.
Yeah, man. He's
I love Verge. And a lot of Virgil is in you because your love and passion for not only basketball, but for teaching the game of basketball. See, it's the difference between being good and playing and being good and being able to teach.
Totally different.
It's totally different. And I think that's one of the problems that I think Michael Jordan is having because he's an excellent basketball player.
No doubt. Great, made it the greatest ever.
And he may be a good teacher because there's a lot of people that say they went and worked with him and they learned a lot from him. But as far as putting talent together, managing a franchise, I don't think he knows what the fuck he's doing. And I love Mike, but he done had that franchise for too long for it to just still be at the same place that it is.
Yeah, it just, hasn't been able, he hasn't, put together the right group of guys yet to maximize what he could out of it.
You got to stop going with your friends, man. As much as you may love your friends, if they're not the people that's going to make sure you get the job done, get it done efficiently, and have some accolades from doing this efficiently good job, then you got to get rid of your fucking friends, man.
Dang. Well, this your show, man. You say what you want. I love it. That's one of the things about having your own show, your own platform. You say what you want, right? I'm looking at you like, it's your show.
Well, that's probably why I don't have any friends.
You got me.
I mean, yeah, but it's some people that you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
And the universe won't let you get rid of.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I have a homeboy. When I first got here, Coach Watson was telling us, like, hell, you got to drop some of them guys from high school. They ain't going to be able to come with you. Hell, they going to have to stay where you met them.
Hell, leave them there.
And my homeboy was like, man, fuck that. I've been knowing you since 95. You my man. Fuck that. And then one day he called and I tried to ditch him. I tried to dodge him. Mm-hmm. Do you know this motherfucker showed up?
You got them type of friends that'll show up on your front door.
Knocked on the door, cussed me out, and then took me out.
Yeah. That's a friend for you.
And we've been friends for going on 25 years now.
That's a friend for you.
So I was going back to the teaching or whatnot.
Yeah.
What made you want to teach the game?
Well, I felt I did everything that I possibly could do as a player, and once I was done playing, it was like the trophies didn't matter no more for me. The accolades didn't matter anymore for me, and it was like, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to win another scoring title. Like, it got to the point where it was just like I've done enough with my craft for myself, and it's time for me. I just kind of had an epiphany almost. It's like it's time for me to take everything that I've learned in basketball and put it into other people and see how far they can go with it and see where it would take them. And, mixing that with my passion for people and obviously my passion for youth, I felt that it was the right time for me to pour in a God's gift that's been given to me because, a lot of my stuff is a gift. And, and when you have a gift, you need to share it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Or you
tell me that all the time.
Yeah, or you'll lose it. So I was like, you know what? I want to pour and I want to inject these kids with what I have and see what they do with it.
Right. So because you've been doing the Sports Unlimited,
Skills Unlimited.
I'm sorry, Skills Unlimited. You're doing that for almost 10 years now, right?
Easily 10 years. Yeah. And now my brother has pretty much kind of taken it.
Really?
He's doing it. Yeah, he's just kind of doing it on more of a smaller scale. But
Lil Real?
Yeah, like he worked with me for.
Well, he ain't little no more.
He's
6'5", ain't he?
Bigger than me. But He worked alongside me for 8 years, and he learned the ropes and learned how to train. So now he's done a terrific job, and he has a couple of top players under his wing now. So again, that gift, I was able to kind of pass a little bit to my brother, and now he's passing it down, and that's just how, that's just the way it should be done.
Yes, it is. That's exactly the way it should be done. The OGs are supposed to teach the youth something.
Yeah.
And I feel, especially in my development, that I didn't get a lot of that from my OGs. But when I did have an OG, like Rail came to me, very first day of practice, he said, "Man, I'm gonna teach you every fucking thing I know. I'm gonna show you every angle. I'm gonna show you every post position, and we gonna go from there."
Terrell was such a great teammate.
Man,
he was one of the best teammates I had. Because he was selfless. And he was a great player in his own right. Like
he was a great player that played out of position.
He was a 6'5" post player.
Yeah,
but he was successful.
Yeah, that
shows you how good he was.
That shows
he
you
played the post at that size.
At that size,
and I don't think this university really understands how valuable Terrell Riggs was, especially for a point guard like myself. Like, he had terrific hands. He was athletic. He was strong. And he was selfless, man. Like, he gave his body up for the team, and I just think those guys don't get enough credit for what they meant to the university.
Yeah, shout out T. Riggs, man.
Got a goon named Fernando at the front door, your condo. Knock, who's there? He don't care, he's psycho. Bad bitch with a nice throat, she ice cold and she like hoes. Oh, she just not type, these other hoes just typos.
That's the little Wayne stamp of approval.
I like this. This is like a little bit of the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to intertwine a few things.
You cussing and everything.
I can't. I'm an asshole. So, you told me a long time ago, man. You can't regress what you are. You can't repress who you are. And if you're an asshole, be an asshole.
Be the best one.
Just don't hurt someone's life.
Yeah, definitely.
In the process.
Absolutely.
Once you start fucking with people's lives, then you doing some bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff that you tell me, dude, that I just sit back and I think about it, and then I see it. And then once I see it, I'm like, damn.
Then you text me.
Yeah.
Like you was right.
Which leads me to your talk show.
Yeah.
Sports Talk 2319.
Yeah.
Where you have professed and prophesized a lot of, I should say, basketball shit. Because there's a lot of stuff that you said was going to happen, not just from players being drafted or players being good. I mean, like, moves being made. You were the first person to say LeBron's going to L.A.
Yeah.
That I can remember. And then there was a lot of people like, oh, why would he go to L.A.? And then you made the point, he's trying to expand his brand. He got kids. He don't want his kids growing up in fucking Philadelphia. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me,
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the foresight that you have, and where does that come from?
Man, that's probably the best question somebody has ever asked me.
Oh, thank you.
It's tough to answer. It's a gift. There's something inside of me. Like I to kind of break it down to the listeners at home. Think of if you had antennas on your head.
Right.
Think about if you had antennas. And what antennas, what they do is that they scan and they feel. And I have a deep intuition inside of me that I can feel situations. I know it sounds corny, but I'm just being completely honest. I'm able to take situations and analyze them and break them all the way down
to the most common denominator.
I'll just break it down in layers, but it comes from, like, I have these spiritual antennas that I'm able to break things down and see them play out 3 or 4 years ahead, and then I'm able to confidently go in front of the cameras or go on the social media and tell people about it because I've already had a premonition that it's going to happen, and I played it out and said it has to happen because it's going to go like this.
Right.
So I'm able to cut it all up.
Right.
And then when I come on camera, I'm so confident in it because I've already broke it all the way down why it should happen.
Right.
So that's the easiest way I can break it down for you guys at home. But to put it in a nutshell, it's another gift that I was given to be able to see things way before they happen.
Yeah, because you have. And anytime, just this year alone, there are at least 3 to 5 players that you have made mention to in the last 3 years that are now dominating it's full circle.
Yeah.
You know, guys like Ja Morant. Ooh. And that's one guy. That's one guy. Because I went back and I went to the show and it just kind of like you kind of did it on kind of like a snippet type of thing.
Yep.
And I think that was on purpose.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Because when I caught it, I was like, oh, how dare you have the number 3 guy in the draft as a snippet?
You wanted more.
Yeah. So then once he started to do what you said he was going to do, I was like, damn. So then I went back again. The guy, Mike Dom.
Ooh.
Now, Mike Dom, he was dominant his junior year. I don't know what he did to his body over the summer, but his dexterity, the way he moved, like he has changed. He has literally changed his body in a whole 360 way.
He has.
And like he's grabbing rebounds and out of his area, out of his range.
Yeah, he's playing.
Taking them back up, dunking it.
Yeah, he's on his way. He's like 19 points. Currently, he's like 19 points away from 3,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3,000 points?
3,000.
That means he had to been averaging like 20 as a freshman.
He's been rolling for a while, man, and you know, like I talked about him when he was a freshman in college, and people thought I was crazy, but I saw it.
Yeah.
You know, and his mom reached out to me, you
really?
know, back then, and she just was like, "Thank you." She was like, "You actually said something about my son that I didn't know. Like I didn't know he was going to do this." And I started. His mom said I started following your Twitter because you knew more about my son than I did. You know, and we've developed a great friendship, and she's a fantastic lady. But yeah, Mike Dom's terrific.
Mike Dom is he's going to be a very good player. Whomever gets him, you're going to get a fucking gem.
Yeah.
Ja Morant, whoever gets him, you're going to get a freaking gem. And I believe you when you say, if it wasn't for Zion, it would be Ja.
Not even close.
I believe you.
Number 1 pick.
I believe you. And I also believe, because I've been doing a little research of my own.
Yeah, I know how you are. You low key guys at home. No, I'm telling on you.
Oh God.
He's a nerd.
Big time.
Maxwell is a nerd, so don't let him fool you. He is extremely smart, and he looks up stuff, he researches stuff. So don't let him fool y'all at home with his cuss words. He is a nerd and he's smart.
Well, to get to your nerd point, I noticed that there are a lot of mid-majors that's in the top 25. There's a lot of mid-majors, and I went back to other years. This may be the year that has the most mid-majors in the top 25.
Buffalo's in there.
Buffalo's in there.
Yeah,
Houston is high in there.
They're like top 10.
Nevada is high.
Yeah.
Marquette, 11. Yeah. So that leads me to believe that your bracket, do not go with the big guy.
Be careful.
Don't fall for the cheese.
Be careful.
The big schools, they're the cheese.
Be careful.
I'm telling you. We may have our very first mid-major champion since Marquette. What was that, in 76 or something like that?
70s, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been telling people, I told people 3 years ago, it's just a matter of time before a mid-major team wins the national title. We saw a glimpse of it with Butler.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that was just a tease.
Yeah.
But it was like you can just tell that eventually the game is evening up from the mid-majors now.
So you have a family.
Yeah.
And one thing I notice about you don't try to push your accolades in your career on your kids.
No.
You know, you let them live your life, let them live their lives, whatever they want to do. Because you have one daughter that's a gymnast.
A gymnast.
Like, who would have thought of that?
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from.
But she's awesome at it.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
You know, and then your youngest daughter, she actually picked up the ball or whatnot.
She picked it up.
You know what? And I really think that's because the baby girls are so attached to the father,
to the dad,
that whatever the father does, they're going to try it. And if they mess around, and fall in love with it, then that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
Like, you could have been a badmintoner, and she would have tried badminton.
Should have. See what I'm saying? That's a nerd statement. That might have been the most nerdy statement on your show. I told you, he's a nerd, man.
I'm just trying to prove my point.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, but you're 100% right. My youngest daughter, she's attached to me. You know, my oldest one is too, but my youngest one, she wants to be a TV anchor as well. Like, she wants to be on TV.
Okay.
And she wants to be a basketball player. So she's, you know, the young one wants to be a gymnast and she wants to be a doctor. You know, the young one wants to play basketball and go on TV.
Right.
So,
you have a third daughter.
Yes, I do.
Is she still at Clarkston?
Country Day.
Country Day. She never was at Clarkston. She was at Country Day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And she is a freaking stud.
She's pretty good.
She was almost Miss Basketball as a junior, right?
She was one of the top players in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's
how's she's doing? I haven't seen any games.
She's going great. I went to the game the other day. She's playing well. Like, she's going to Stetson next year. She's a drop dead shooter. I wouldn't be surprised if she leads the nation in 3-point percentage by sophomore, junior year, because she's that accurate, that efficient of a shooter. She doesn't, you know, she's not going to take 15 shots. Okay. She's going to take 7. And she's going to make 5. And 3 of them are going to be 3-pointers. And she's not going to miss free throws.
Hey, that is.
She's just one of those type of players.
That is a coach's delight right there.
Yeah.
If you can get a player that's going to be that efficient.
That's just what she is.
Yeah, that is beautiful, man. So I'll be looking at Stinson.
Yeah.
I have a reason to look at Stinson.
Yeah, you can watch Stetson.
I'm sorry, Stetson.
Yeah. He's going to research it tonight.
And I'll get it right.
Yeah, you're going to research it. Like, okay, Stetson. All right, I got it.
Because he's right, and I'm the type of nerd that will put it in the search engine and have them say it to me, so I can make sure I get it right. Because I might not be pronouncing it the right way. Yeah, I'm that type of nerd.
For sure.
So I have a story that I don't know if you know about. It was a story about you playing in the Portsmouth tournament. Yep. And this is what I was told.
Okay. Yeah.
I was told that Michael Jordan and I'm now that I'm saying it out loud, it kind of feels like it was false, because the two people that they said had this conversation about you don't even fucking like each other.
Okay.
But they had a conversation about you.
Okay.
Said Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
Had a conversation saying Shad Phillips can light this. He can light it up, but can he run a team? And they said that you caught wind of that and went out and scored 47. Then they gave you the Portsmouth Trophy, MVP, and then sent you home. And they were saying that instance was one of the instances why they wouldn't draft you.
Okay.
And I have some conflictions with that, because I've seen with my own 4 eyes this man break the fucking assist record in an all-star game. So you don't think when it comes to getting a job, he's not going to say, okay, is this what they want?
Okay.
All right. They don't make the fucking shots. What you want me to do? But I'm going to make sure they get in the positions to do whatever it is. So I always wanted to ask you about this, because, you know, I like to hear both sides of the story.
Yeah, for sure.
I heard their side. So I like to hear.
Yeah, they always say it's their story, your story, then the truth.
Then the
right?
truth, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give you the truth.
Okay.
I went to Portsmouth, and when I got there, For those at home who don't know what Portsmouth is, it's an NBA camp where they invite the top senior players, and they split us. They invite only 60. You only get 60 invites, and they split us up in teams.
Do they still do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Portsmouth's still going. And they split you up in teams, and you play a tournament for like 3 or 4 days, and they crown a champion and an MVP, and you play in front of NBA personnel and agents.
Right.
So when I got there, they put me on a team where I think it was the misfit team, because we only had 7 guys. Everybody else team had 11 people. So I went in thinking like, this going to be tough to do because we only got 7 dudes, and we didn't have a center. Our tallest guy was 6'7", and he was from like Iona. I forgot his name, but he was a left-handed guy, played at Iona, and we didn't have a center. So I'm like, man, it's going to be tough for us to even get a win. These teams were stacked. So right there, I went into my mindset, okay, it's only 7 of us. We don't have a center, and I know I'm the best scorer in this camp.
Right.
So I'm going to have to do what I need to do to get us to the championship.
Right.
So I kind of took the James Harden approach.
Right.
See what I'm saying? My mind frame, like when Chris Paul went out, James Harden was like, okay, it's all on me to Chris Paul get back. So I kind of was like, okay, I got to do this. Long story short, we win the first game. I don't know how. We won, and we kept advancing. And Isaiah Thomas came to me outside and was like, you're killing people, man. Like nobody can guard you. You can get wherever you want to on the court. But we want to see if you can make other people better. And I said, with all due respect, winning is making everybody better. And I said,
this is true.
You know me. That's just how I am. I just say, hey, look, we only got 7 people. Right. I said, Zeke, we only got 7 guys. So our center is 6'6", 6'7". Right. So I can't go out here and try to get 19 assists and lose. I'd rather get 30 points and win. Yeah. So do you want me to get 18 assists and lose and get on a flight back home?
Right.
Or keep scoring and get to the championship game? Yeah. And he was like, do you? And he dapped me up. I kept scoring. We got to the championship game. Okay. I had 28 and 8 in the championship, and we won. So I end up finishing the tournament second in scoring and second in assists.
What more can you ask for? See, I didn't know all this.
So we won the championship.
I didn't know that either.
We won.
See, I love how people just
That's
intently leave certain aspects of stories out.
They didn't tell you I won.
No. They did say you got the MVP.
But they didn't tell you I won the championship.
Yeah, no. They didn't even say you made it to the championship. They didn't even say you only had 7 freaking players.
They left all that out.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Wow.
So we won the championship with 7 players. 7 players, and I got MVP. And I was second in scoring and second in assists. And first in 3-point percentage. See, now you can look it up. You can look up the stats. I shot 14 for 26 from 3. So I led in 3-point. That was 53%.
14 for 23 over the weekend?
14 for 26 from 3.
Over the weekend?
Over the weekend.
Shit.
And we won the championship. And it's funny because one of my old teammates that was on my team, he ended up being one of my teammates overseas. And we talked about, he was like, Rashad, it was nothing. His name was Colin Descharme. He was a big Caucasian dude. He was on my team. He was about 6'7", 6'8". He was like, I still remember when you took us to the championship. Like, that's what he told me. He was like, you took us to the championship.
Wow.
So I was put in a position where I had to do what I had to do.
And I want to say this while you sitting here, my good man, and for the listeners at home, I feel because of the unwanted and I've sometimes feel purpose scrutiny that you were put under, and how the game has changed to your favor. it leads me to believe that everything that you're doing now, all that recognition, all that money, all that everything that you were supposed to get then, you're going to get now because of the path that you have struck in for yourself and for the game. And it's crazy how the game has now shifted to the way you used to play
20 years ago. It's
crazy. So that what makes me believe that the universe has to cash you out. It has to. You know what I'm saying? It may take a minute. You may have to work for it, but God damn it, it's coming. And I know it. And I feel that in my heart of hearts.
My grandmother, both of my grandmothers used to always say this, and they, rest their souls. You live long enough, you'll see some things.
Man, that is so true.
That
is so true.
And when my grandmothers used to tell me that, I didn't understand that. We're 15, 16 years old. Right. What does that mean?
Right.
But now that we're older, they said, you live long enough,
you will see some shit. And this shit right now is like,
we've lived long enough,
like,
to see it.
Like, it has transferred to
flashy,
deep threes, bunch of handles. To now, I kind of feel like the big fella is obsolete.
You guys are like saber-toothed tigers.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they're trying to phase out the 5 position.
Yeah.
And that is very frustrating for me.
I know, for you, that's tough to watch. That
is tough. Because I already going through, my high school is dead, my goddamn middle school is dead. Like, I can't take my kids to go anywhere of my legacy in this city. And now y'all trying to take away my position? I'll be damned, man. I'm starting a big man camp.
You're going to start a big man brand.
A big man.
Y'all got to stay alive.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Like a dodo bird.
Because, yep, straight ahead. And it's crazy because in the NBA now, if you can't see that all you have to do is rebound and get a check, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And for me, when I see Russell Westbrook with 10 rebounds, 13 rebounds, it bothers me. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't see how Steven Adams, or whatever his name is, I don't see how he's not like, okay, you getting 13, I'm getting 20. You're going to have to go down to 8 because I need these.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. But
this is how I make my money.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't see that, then I don't know. And then, like you said, that's just breaking it down to the common denominator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get 8 rebounds just trying. You can get 8 defensive rebounds just going to the goddamn rim.
Especially in the league.
Especially in the league.
Tons of shots, tons of possessions. People firing away. But yeah, the game has changed to the way I play, and it was really taboo when I was playing. I was.
Oh, extremely taboo.
It was taboo. And
like, you're not supposed to be shooting from that deep. Why are you making? And that was another thing that I never really understood. You and Greg had to go through this a lot.
Yeah.
Why are you shooting from that deep, and why are you making the shot? For somebody to ask you, why are you making shots?
I didn't understand.
That's baffling. What the fuck you?
I'm 20 years old. Like, this is what I do.
I'm supposed to make shots, sir. This is the name of the game.
That's what I do. It was really, now that I look at it, it was a little hurtful because it was my craft. It was the way I played.
Right.
And it worked for me.
Yeah.
And it was like to have a little bit, everybody in my neighborhood where I'm from, East State Fair, they call me the sacrificial lamb. That's what they call me. Because it was like, I the way I played, and I wasn't the only person playing, but it was a very few of us that played that way. It wasn't a lot of 5'9" guys that was dancing around the court shooting deep threes.
Yes.
It was maybe 2 or 3 of us. So to see that the NBA, the way that it's played today, it's refreshing for me to watch guys play the way that I played and for it to be celebrated because it wasn't celebrated then. So now it's like you get to smell your flowers.
Yeah.
So vicariously I get to live through the Steph Currys the Trae Youngs. Like, I get to vicariously live through them because it's like I used to do that. And I love that you celebrating them because that's what I did.
When you met Trae Young, did he kind of gravitate towards you? Was it like an easy introduction?
Easy. Yeah.
Because I really feel like guys that is your size that play the same way you do, you guys kind of like gravitate towards